Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's live class. Today we shall be looking at indices leading to simultaneous equation. But let's see this question together. The question says, find x and y if 3 raised to the power of 2x minus y equals to 1 and 16 raised to the power of x over 4 equals to 8 raised to the power of 3x minus y. Okay, the moment you are seeing find x and y, we are going to find the value of two variables at the same time. So the moment you are seeing that, even though the question is an indices question, but you know that it's going to lead to something else. So let's look at this case together with you. All right. Okay. We can label this equation 1, and we can also label this equation 2. Okay. First of all, let's resolve equation 1 as 3 raised to the power of 2x minus y equals to 3 raised to the power of 0 because 3 raised to the power of 0 is the same thing as 1. Now, since these two has the same base, since this is 3 on the left hand side and this is 3 on the right hand side, we will equate their powers. And if we equate their powers, we'll have 2x minus y equals to 0. We can now call this one equation 3. Okay. Now let us resolve equation 2 to be in a standard simultaneous equation format. We have resolved equation 1 from an initial format to a normal simultaneous equation format. So let's do that one. Let's do equation 2 together. Equation 2 is 16 raised to the power of x over 4. Okay, let's just solve it from where it is. Okay, if you cross multiply 4 times 8 raised to the power of 3x minus y, we're going to have this 4 times 8 raised to the power of 3x minus y equals to what? 16, because we are cross multiplying, equals to 16 raised to the power of x. Now let's reduce 4 to 2 raised to the power 2 times 2 raised to the power of 3, which is 8, which will also multiply into the power of 8. Okay, to be equals to 2. We are going to reduce 16 on the basis of 2. So 16 is the same thing as 2 raised to the power of 4. 4x. Can you see that? If that is true, we're going to have 2 raised to the power of 2 plus 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times minus y is minus 3y to be equals to 2 raised to the power of 4x. Now we have come to a point where this has the same base. Same base. Okay. Now, since these two has the same base on both sides, we are going to equate their powers. So this will now be 2 plus 9x minus 3y equals to 4x. Can you see that? Okay. Let's collect like terms. If we collect like terms, we have 9x minus 4x minus 3y equals to minus 2. So that you will have here is going to be, okay, let me move to this side. Let's move to that side. Here, 9x minus 4x is going to give us 5x minus 3y equals to minus 2. Can you see that? So you can now see this is now the normal format of what? Of a simultaneous equation. So since we have labeled this one equation 3, we can also label this one equation 4. Okay, but let's bring this equation 3 down to that side, which is 2x minus y to be equals to 0. Don't forget this is equation 3. Okay, so if you multiply equation 3 by 5 and then multiply equation 4 by 2, the essence is we have to eliminate one of the variables there. It's either we eliminate variable y or x. But in this case, let's first of all eliminate x. So let's do the multiplication first. If you multiply equation 4 by 2, this will be 2 times 5x. You're going to have 10x. And then 2 times minus 3y, you're going to have 6 minus 6y to be equals to 2 times minus 2 is going to give you minus 4. And then equation 3 will multiply by 5. So 5 times 2x will give you 10x. And then 5 times minus y is going to give you minus 5y to be equals to 5 times 0, which is 0. Can you see that? Then here, we can label this equation 5. And we can label this equation 6. Can you see that? Now you can say, let's say equation 5 minus equation 6. Okay, equation 5 minus equation 6, meaning 10x minus 10x will be 0. So x is gone. And again here, minus 6y minus 5 is going to give you minus y. So minus y is going to be equals to minus 4. Because here will be minus 4 minus 0, which is minus 4. And so you can see that y equals to 4. Okay. Now let's put y equals to 4 in equation 6. Okay. Let's see. Let's bring equation 6 down. This is 10x minus 5y equals to 0. And here we have 10x minus 5. Y has been found to be 4 equals to 0. Okay. And so this is the same thing as 10x minus 20 equals to 0. Therefore, 10x is going to be 20 then x equals to 20. And so x equals to 20 over 10, which is what? X equals to 2. Okay. From there, we can now come maybe here and set, therefore, x equals to 2 and y equals to 4. That was just the question that was being asked. You were asked to find the value of x and then y. Is that right? So look at it again and again and again. The question is, find x and y if 3 raised to the power of 2x minus y equals to 1, and x raised to the power of x and 16 raised to the power of x over 4 equals to 8 raised to the power of 3x minus y. First of all, we'll bring those questions down, which is this one. We label that one as equation 1. This one, we label it as equation 2. But because they are still in the indicial formats, we have to reduce them to a normal simultaneous equation format. Do not forget. We know here that for us to do away with the basis, we have to know that any number raised to the power of 0 is 1. And so, instead of writing 1 here, we put 3 raised to the power of 0. So that 3 and 3 will be of the same base on both sides. From there, we equate their powers. If we equate their powers, this will now look like a normal simultaneous equation. Is that right? Then, for us to resolve equation 2, we cross multiply first of all. Cross multiply this and this. Then you have 4 times 8 raised to the power of 3x minus y to be equals to 16 raised to the power of x. 4 here is the same thing as 2 raised to the power of 2. And then 8 is the same thing as 2 raised to the power of 3. Remember, 8 already has a power, so this one will multiply into this one. And then 16 is the same thing as 2 raised to the power of 4. Since 16 already has a power, this 4 will multiply into that power to make it 4x. Okay. And then the next thing, we apply the addition law of indices. Because 2 and 2 here has the same base. And so we add their powers. That's why you have 2 raised to the power of 2 plus the power of this other 2, which is 3 times 3x, which is 9x. And then 3 times minus y minus 3y. Same to this side. Now we can now have the same base, and then we equate their powers. After equating their powers, we simplify by collecting like terms, and doing that, we are at 5x minus 3y equals to minus 2. We now build that equation as equation 4. And then we go back to bring equation 3 down to this place. Now looking at this, it will be impossible for us to eliminate any of those variables without first of all equalizing one of the coefficient of one of the variable. So we decided to equalize the coefficient of x by multiplying equation 4 by 2 and equation 3 by 5, so that we will have 10x here and 10x here. So in doing that, we're able to eliminate x. Thereby, if you say minus 6 minus 5, that gives you minus 6 plus 5, which will be minus 5. And it will be equals to minus 4. Because if you say minus 4 minus 0, it's going to give you minus 4. And so minus minus will go off. Therefore, y equals to 4, which is here. So we now put the value of y, which is equals to 4, in equation 6. And this is equation 6. We bring it down here. We impute the value of y where we have y. That becomes 4 times minus 5, which is minus 20. We collect like terms and solve for x. And x gave us 2. We now come and tell them the value of y that we were looking for is that x equals to 2 and y equals to 4. Even if you want to test that in any of this equation, if you like, test it in any of the equation. Could be equation 3, it could be equation 4. If you test it, you will still have arrived at the same thing. Okay, for instance, let us test equation 3. Equation 3 says, equation 3 is 2x minus 2x minus y equals to 0. Let's see. X is 2, so 2 times 2 minus y is 4, so we put 4 here. What would that be? Already 2 times 2 is 4, and then minus 4. That will give us what? 0. So that's just a simple test of how you can test the values of any simultaneous equation. Is just to impute those values where you have x and y or any other variable. So given. Okay. Now, if you want us to solve another question, we can still go on and on and on and solve them. Okay. So they are all in your hand. If you want me to solve one more example, I can still do one for you. Okay. So let me see. Let's see if we can solve one more example. So I'm going to clean the board now to go for another question. All right. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, do so, because whenever we have a class, you will always be updated. All right. Okay. Let's quickly look at another question. All right. The question is, as question 2. Question 2 says, given that question 2 says, given that 1 over 8 raised to the power of 2 minus 3y equals to 2 raised to the power of y plus 2. You are told to find the value of y. Find the value of y. So find the value of y. Okay. Now let's solve this. The solution. We bring the question here. 1 over 8 raised to the power of 2 minus 3y to be equals to 2 raised to the power of y plus 2. All we need to do is to simply cross multiply. Here is that the same thing as 2 over 1. And so you have 2 raised to the power of y plus 2 multiplied by 8 raised to the power of 2 minus 3y. Okay? So, this is the same thing as 2 raised to the power of y plus 2, and then multiply by 2 raised to the power of 3. That 3 will multiply into 2 minus 3y. Okay? And so, this will be 2 raised to the power of y plus 2, and then plus 3 times 2 is 6. And then 3 times minus 3y is minus 9y. Okay? And then here, you can now see 2 raised to the power of y minus 9y is minus 8y. Everything here was equals to 1. Equals to 1. All this was equals to 1. And then here we can change to 2 raised to the power of 0, 2 raised to the power of 0. Then here, we now have plus what? Plus 8 to be equals to 2 raised to the power of 0. Okay? So we can now see here. Okay, let me bring them here. Let's move from here to that side. You have, okay, since these two are of the same base, we will equate their powers. So their powers is minus 8y plus 8 equals to 0. Okay? And so minus 8y equals to minus 8. And so y equals to 8 over 8, which is what? 1. So we can say therefore y equals to 1. That is the answer. As simple as that. Alright. Subscribe to this channel. Invite your friends and family to subscribe to this channel so that anytime we have a class, you will always be updated. Thank you for attending this class and see you in the next class. Bye for now.